Andrew Kaufman for the Democrats and Venanzio Cortese for the Republicans. Opening statements will begin by lot. Mr. Kaufman is going first. You have 4 minutes, sir.
When we talk about issues of the day, especially in the midst of our wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and our economic tumult at home, social issues and domestic policy often get lost in the mix. But these issues truly define what our parties are all about, what they stand for. So what does it mean to be a Democrat? What does it mean to support democratic ideals on domestic policy? Well, first, it means supporting the rights of all Americans. It means supporting equality and supporting justice for every member in our society. It means ensuring that our rights are protected against such unreasonable and ridiculous infringements, such as the unwarranted searches and seizures begun during the Bush administration. We must ensure the equality for gay Americans and dignity, that they are allowed to receive equal marriage rights and are allowed to serve as members of our military freely and openly. We must continue to provide essential services for the American people, such as education. A country that was the first to land men on the moon should not be lagging in science and technology. We need to come up with an effective way to promote public education in this country. We need to act compassionately, yet with a strong hand on immigration reform. We cannot simply say we'll deport all immigrants and break up their families in truly morally reprehensible ways, but we must both strengthen our borders with security and provide a path to citizenship for those who are living here legally but have done no harm. We must, with all our heart, protect our environment. We must provide incentives for businesses to promote environmentally friendly technologies, because preserving the future of America for our children and preserving this world for future generations to come is one of the most important goals for one of the most powerful nations in the country. In conclusion, Democrats stand for preserving and protecting the rights that Americans have been guaranteed and should be guaranteed in the future, for expanding those rights to all, for continuing to provide the vital services that Americans require and expect of their government, and for ensuring America's leading place in the world on a group of emerging issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cortese-Corman.
Let me jump right into it. The United States faces many domestic concerns for which both Democrats and Republicans have offered diverging plans. The issues that should be at the very top of our nation's agenda are immigration and education reform, for these have been both left unresolved and incomplete for the past couple of years. First, I'll begin with immigration reform. Let's start with an honest debate about immigration reform. We must realize that today the problem is with illegal immigration. One would be definitely hard-pressed to find somebody in this room whose ancestors at one point or another did not immigrate to this country from somewhere else. Legal immigration for generations has been the lifeblood of our great country, giving us multitudes of individuals who through hard work and self-sacrifice to this nation have earned the gratitude of us all. Thus, I reiterate that the real problem is illegal immigration. Today there's a heated debate in Congress about how to address this problem. For too long our nation has left by the wayside laws that are already on the books, laws which in theory should be currently enforced to protect our nation from the dangers of illegal border crossings. Democrats, under the leadership of President Barack Obama, have yet to put forth a coherent plan as to what course they will take. Up until now, the work from the Democrats on Capitol Hill has been by providing a path to citizenship, we can solve all of our illegal immigration woes. However, this is simply a code for amnesty, where we reward those who break our laws and give them immediate citizenship. Citizenship is something that many law-abiding immigrants must jump through hoops to get, and the Democrats are haphazardly going to extend haphazardly extend citizenship to illegals and thus insult the legal immigrants and the American people. I argue that through proper enforcement of current immigration laws, we can alleviate the pressures caused by the millions of illegal aliens living in this country today. When coupled with increased border security, this shows that there is no reason why we cannot stem the flow of illegal immigrants onto our streets and deport the ones who are already here. For the fact is that uninsured illegal aliens flood our hospitals and driving up the cost of health care for everyone else. They also endanger our streets through drug-related crimes, and they also undocumented illegals. Next comes education reform. The issue of school vouchers is paramount today when speaking of reform in this area. Is it a cure-all? No. However, what it does accomplish is that it puts control of a child's education back into the hands of their parents where it belongs, while at the same time it brings competition to lackluster public schools, giving them an incentive to clean up their act or risk lose funding. It is a fact that President Obama, during his campaign, came out against vouchers, stating via a press release that, quote, Senator Barack Obama has always been a critic of vouchers. The statement went on to say, throughout his career, he has voted against voucher proposals, and it also noted that his education agenda, quote, does not include vouchers in any shape or form, end quote. Republicans, at the beginning of this century, took the lead when George W. Bush pressed Congress to produce the No Child Left Behind Act, which not only increased funding for our schools, but also increased their accountability and overall quality. It also increased the overall quality of education in the United States by providing us with an excellent foundation to continue that improvement. Today, we must take the next step by giving parents a choice as to where their child is educated. We must put power back into the hands of the people and take it out of the hands of the government. Vouchers give worse-off families the wherewithal, through their own tax dollars, the ability to give their child a better education by sending them to a better school. The Republican Party today advocates enforcement of immigration laws. We also desire the choice of where a child goes to school be placed back into the proper hands, those of the parents. Thank you very much.
Please remember, I'd like you to hold your applause to the end of this segment. The first question will go to Mr. Cortese. He'll have 3 minutes. Mr. Kaufman will have 2 minutes. And then Mr. Cortese will have 25 minutes. Over the past several decades, several attempts have been made to improve the public education system in the United States, including No Child Left Behind and school vouchers, as in fact you just mentioned. How does your party propose that the nation's system of public education be improved?
Well, in addition to what I just said, I mean, there's many advantages to school vouchers. Among them, as I mentioned during my speech, it places the choice back into the hands of the parent. So therefore, we have spent many of the past few decades of funding schools that aren't performing up to standard. It's basically a money pit. We keep throwing money at the problem and nothing gets done. Therefore, if we take away the far-off equation, we take away from the equation a far-off government that really cannot know what is going on inside the halls or inside the classrooms of the underperforming school, the problem can never be solved. Therefore, if a child's parent is given a value